Greetings gamers, I'm LotusCrane. Today I'll be reviewing Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds, a beat-em-up action game developed by Mages and published by Dejika. It's $12 in the Steam store, and it has a Metacritic score of 64, which is a bit lower than what I normally pay attention to, even in the indie scene. But like a lot of really niche games, I actually enjoy this a little bit more than the professional critics give it credit for. Which is why I'm doing this video, and you'll see in a moment. I haven't tried online play, and I don't have enough controllers or friends who don't work during the daytime to do a local co-op game, but apparently this game supports up to 4 players, which I'm sure would make it even more chaotic, but also more fun than it is by my lonesome. Alright. I played this game a little bit, enough to have gained some experience levels for at least one character. Okay, let's have some fun. Cat ears, and... sure, let's look like Sakasa Kaigami from Lucky Star. Alright, I think I'm ready to go from easy to normal mode. Maybe I'll change the ending too, because I kind of feel like the ending I got in easy mode wasn't really an ending, so... oh, I can't skip the intro stage because this is a new difficulty level. Okay.
ここは日本の首都東京。
So it's funny.
謎の男ファントムは封印された自らの強大な力を取り
Normally I would bask in the glorious
特
voice
殊な
acting,
力を
but
持つ若者。なぜなら
I'll kind of
FA
skip it a
の
little
激
bit.
しいその
So this
亀
game
裂
is
がやがて
has
ファントム
extensive
に
voice
対抗
acting,
する
which is
覇者
funny.
の一族であるクモ。その時
Because despite
若の
the
妹である
16-bit
正義
graphics
の
and
味方を
gameplay
志すメイド。
and the chiptunes, they totally decided,
ど
hey,
っちに逃げたの？
Japan has way too many voice actors and actresses with free time. Let's hire some for this game.
あなたたち、さっきファントムと一緒にいた。どうやらファントムに操られている。怪我をしたくなかったら。
I think for me, the weirdest part of controls is the fact that jumping is actually up rather than a button, so sometimes I do weird things through my combos that I wish I wouldn't be doing. What's also weird is that jumping up attack is actually triggered by pushing down instead of up before the attack button, so... so the control scheme could be a little more intuitive, but I mean, I can live with it. Oh, okay. That was the magic button. Not actually what I meant to press, but sure. I'm okay with it. Oh yeah, so if you're wondering, similar to Guardian Heroes, if you were ever lucky enough to play that, or I think one of the Fatal Fury games, I think maybe the last Fatal Fury before they just rolled it into King of Fighters, rather than walking up and down freely like Final Fight or Streets of Rage, there's a foreground and background that you jump back and forth from to attack enemies or dodge attacks. I think the reason why they went with the foreground background scheme instead of freely walking up and down is so that, like Guardian Heroes, they would better enable kind of a fighting game as opposed to beat 'em up dynamic for the combos. So if you're wondering why this is normal mode, and I'm still overkilling enemies this badly, so one of the reasons why I guess maybe I should have played normal mode ahead of time so I could have skipped the prologue stage is... so you notice next to my player, it doesn't say level 21 like the card select screen, it says level infinity symbol. It's because the plot of this game has you having most of your power stolen away at the end of the first stage. Because the bad guys know that in your current super heroic form, you're simply too powerful for them and your minions. That being said, even though it seems as though there's no point, those gems and money... Oh, that's not it. Still contribute towards the experience you start the next level with, as opposed to starting at level 1. If you're playing for the first time, you'll start at like level 7 or 8 by the time you reach stage 1, this being stage 0. Oh yeah, this guy's... what's his name? For those of you who are fighting game fans, have you ever played Dark Stalkers or Vampire Saviors, or depending if you played the Japanese or English version or one of the sequels. These guys definitely look like... what's his name? Was it Dimitri? It was something stereotypical like that. Maybe it's Dimitri, maybe I'm thinking of a different character from that game. But the high school jock-looking enemies definitely look like that. Oh. This, kind of pudgy, seemingly defenseless guy. That's definitely a shout-out to... have you ever played Golden Axe? Golden Axe was another classic beat-em-up game, and occasionally there'd be like these little... I guess they were like gnomes who would rob you, and you could beat them up to make them drop a ridiculous amount of loot. Man, I have yet to destroy one of those trucks, so I don't know if they drop lots of loot. I assume they want to encourage people to play co-op so that you have enough firepower. So, enemy types include high school jocks, idle salarymen with golf clubs, basically a whole slew of kind of Japanese pop culture stereotypes. Like even the women we were being at before, you shouldn't be too alarmed. I mean, you know, Japan for all that it's a wonderful place with wonderful video games, you know, they have the occasional issue with like racism and multiculturalism. I mean, you know, so does America. But those women with like weird outfits and paints, well, makeup, they're not supposed to be like a Japanese stereotype of black or Latino women. They're actually a Japanese fashion subculture known as ganguro, which I think comes from like gangan kuro or something for like dark tan or something. I think it started in the 1990s? That sounds about right. But it has like a couple of different reasons for existing. Part of it is just Japanese cultural rebellion. Japan has kind of a very strict and traditional hierarchical society, so some women who feel like they don't quite fit in, they're being kind of rebellious or counter-cultural by having extreme tans and makeup that go against the typical aesthetic standard in Japan. Oh, that's not it. Part of it is also supposed to be referential to Japanese mythology and folklore, though, again, those would be like witches and monsters and demonesses and whatnot.
スカベンジャー、ナギちゃんはどこ？私に勝てたら教えてやるよ。 あまり甘く見ない方がいいと思うけど。ゲシュレッペン甘い。
Yes, this boss battle is supposed to be this easy. I mean, that's the entire reason why your powers are sealed. So you go from level infinity to level, well, 1 and then whatever experience you have previously. But yeah, so Ganguro Girl, so it's based on kind of rebelling against an overly uptight Japanese society. It's a reference to Japanese mythological monsters, and it's also partially, I think, influenced by Japanese perceptions. Remember, this is Japan, 1990s, in, I think, Shibuya or Ikebukuro is where the style originated. But I think it's based on Japanese perceptions of like American California girls at the time with like, you know, bleached blonde, tanned looks. So, let's see, you choose between abilities like air throw or better combos, and then straight up boosting your numerical stats. Come on, like the tutoring centers that are the bane of many childhoods. But yeah, you can see over there, yeah, the bleached blonde, or sometimes, you know, synthetic wig, and heavily tanned and reverse contrast makeup. Those are hallmarks of the Ganguro style. So yeah, you've got the otaku, the Ganguro girl, and the salarymen. Yeah, these are all references to stereotypes of groups of people in Japan. Later on, there's gonna be other typical enemy types, robots, things that could be angels or demons, depending on who you ask. A guy in a mech suit, of course. That's a requirement. Oh yeah, so besides Guardian Heroes, I guess the other beat-em-up game that Phantom Breaker reminds me the most of is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You know, some of you, well, a lot of you probably remember Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the movie, and also the comic series, but there was also a video game. I think it might have been a PSN exclusive. I'm not sure if Xbox ever got a version. But yeah, that game was pretty good too. I guess one of my complaints about this game is even in the later stages, when they add in additional enemy types, It kind of feels like the enemy AI is never really, like, clever or smart. I mean, they overwhelm you with sheer numbers and kind of, especially when there's like multiple of them on the screen at once, cheap, semi-unavoidable attacks. But a lot of times, the enemies will sit around, you know, almost passively letting you take your time picking them apart, so... Then again, I've only played easy now normal mode, so maybe on harder mode, the enemies are actually more aggressive. That being said, I did have some trouble and actually had to continue a few times in the later stages. But again, that I kind of feel like it was just from sheer numbers and therefore unavoidable attacks. Not that the enemies were actually getting any smarter. I guess the red gems are for storing mana. Oh, okay. I kind of wish that enemies would drop their loot a little faster. Or actually, I'm not even sure why it is that they decided that you had to pick up the gems for experience points. It's kind of a pain to have to wait around to get your XP. Like, that was a lot longer than it needed to be. Oh yeah, just like Guardian Heroes, you can hilariously continue to juggle and overkill enemies after you've hit them. I mean, after you've reached a threshold where they should be dead. If this game were more realistic and a little more violent, if you just kept hitting someone who's already dead, I mean, they should really just eventually fall apart after a while, as gruesome as that would be. I'm not sure why that guy is throwing away perfectly good cake. I mean, clearly it looks like he's enjoying himself.
覚悟しなさい。ゲシュレップゲシュレップ邪魔よ。ゲシュレップ覚悟しなさい。隙だらけね。行くわよ。ゲシュビント
Oh.
ゲシュレップ覚悟しなさい。ゲシュレップやるじゃん。行くわよ。邪魔よ。隙だらけね。隙だらけね。隙だらけ覚悟しなさい。ゲシュレップ隙だらけね。前に出るから隙だらけね。隙だらけゲシュレップゲシュレップ覚悟しなさい。隙だらけ覚悟しなさい。
Oh, there's one cake I left? Okay. Oh, if you're wondering why all the bad guys in this game are wearing what look like Mardi Gras masked rejects, that story we kind of skipped at the beginning of the game. The very generic sounding enemy, Phantom, is basically tempted people with fighting power and the promises of their wishes being granted, and all they have to do is accept his gift of these artifacts that look like the world's worst Mardi Gras masks. Oh yeah, besides Schoolgirl with a sword, the other character choices are like Shinto Shrine Maiden, Maid with a Hammer, and of course Ninja Girl. And like Guardian Heroes, after you beat the game at least once, you start to unlock some of the characters that appear as bosses, so that Scavenger M, or later on a Cat Girl, like not just cat ears, but well, actually I guess technically your enemy's cosplaying too, but she has a more comprehensive cosplay than this. Big and playable. Oh, if you're willing to shell out $6 for a DLC, they add one character. Actually, it's Kurisu from Steins Gate. So, if you're a fan of Steins Gate, there's a DLC to let you play as a Steins Gate's character, and they even add a couple of songs that are renditions of Steins Gate songs. So, that may be something you want to consider if you're a huge fan of Steins Gate. Is that this game does have a Steins Gate DLC. And this is a player who picked a different color palette. I'm not white. You look kind of yellow or blonde or something. The fact that this is a little school studio of piano, it's making me think a lot of Persona Arena, oddly enough. Oh, she actually outranged the magic. Looks like I can't just cheese it. Oh, wow, that didn't work out. I was not planning to, Oh, wow, I actually lost. Well, I guess we'll just end my playthrough there with extreme dishonor. I don't know. Was that my own incompetence, or was that boss actually more difficult in normal mode than on easy mode in terms of their behavior? Anyway, if you continue, you can apply whatever experience you may have gained before resuming, so I guess eventually you're supposed to just beat this game no matter what. But yeah, this has been Phantom Breaker. Overall, I'm gonna say I am gonna say LotusCrane approved. You know, I thought maybe I should say LotusCrane meh. I mean, I am aware that this game has some deficiencies, but for a rather affordable indie game in a niche genre that I enjoy, yeah, I'm still gonna say LotusCrane approved. It's a Metacritic 64. I mean, you can tell from the gameplay or from the trailers in the Steam store. You can decide for yourself if you would ever actually play this, but I think that despite having 64, this game is pretty playable. More so than, you know, some games that are more polished. Well, arguably more polished. Like, I would still play this over, say, Dungeon Defenders 2, which, even though it's a completely different genre, well, is it really a different genre? My point is, it may have a Metacritic score of 64, but I still think it's playable. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe to my channel and share the link with your friends. I'm LotusCrane, signing off.